Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network.
First world, come in and take a seat. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
I'm a setting sun, but I'll never run. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I will stay and fight as long as I'm alive. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. Hey. till I die. And kill till I die.
All right, welcome everybody, and thanks for coming to the original Cryptid art party. Got some terrific guests tonight, so we're going to go around the room real quick. While we're doing this, I'm going to show online some of the great pieces of original Cryptid art that have surfaced here in these last couple of months. But first, I want to ask Jay, what's your favorite Cryptid?
Thank you. I want to be first on this. As a New Yorker, you'd think, maybe the alligators in the sewers could slide into that, but no. That's a real animal, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to step away from that. Being so close to New Jersey, the Jersey Devil, okay,
Sure, yeah.
but that
Why
name
not?
is locked
Too
in.
easy.
Something that's out there, right? I am a descendant of Puerto Rico, so we're going to go with our patron saint of cryptids, the chupacabra.
No, you took mine. Oh, man.
Okay, Laura, you go next. What's your
That's
favorite
why I'm
Wow,
Cryptid?
I'm
I got it.
What the heck? What's
And
the
tell
name
it why
of the toad,
tell it
though?
why it influenced you a little
The
bit.
toad.
too.
What's the frog, Jay?
The cookie.
Yeah, that's the other one. So I'll choose the frog.
But
No,
that's
I mean,
real.
like, no.
It's
Let me
real.
like that.
It's
Give
not
me
a
the good
cryptid. It's a
one.
real thing.
What?
It's a real thing.
Yes, I know, but there's the part that goes with it. I'll go Bigfoot. I will just go Bigfoot. And there's two camps of Bigfoot fanatics. There's East Coast and West Coast, and there's a big debate whether if he's one place or the other, right? Because they fight with each other. So I'll go Team Bigfoot. Very famous cryptid, one of the most recognizable names out there.
Rock and
That's
roll.
perfect. That's perfect. Hey, while we're talking about this, is actually Brad. This is your piece here, isn't it?
Is it?
Green, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Man, I just want to say again, I love the lighting on this piece, and I think you just murdered it. There's a couple of great Bigfoot interpretations.
Yes.
Brad, a quick question for you. Do you have any relevant information about Bigfoot?
Well, other than when I told you my story about seeing him when I was like 16 years old, so
Yes.
I was hoping you would mention it.
yeah.
Where are you
So-
from?
Missouri. Well, I was
Okay.
born in Kansas.
Hmm.
Yeah, Missouri's known down here close to the Arkansas border, the Ozarks, basically, and
Yeah.
it's been seen a lot here lately and on the East Coast. In the Mark Twain Forest up there's just been lots of sightings. In fact, even here in Joplin, somebody saw him down by the falls. So,
There's a ton of
Pretty,
cryptids in the mountains, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we have a lot of caves around here, so I believe they live in caves. That's my theory.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm a fan, man. I tell you, I think that's a terrific piece too. Hey, we'll go to Chad next. Take a look at this one. This was drawn on Thursday Night Live. Is that correct,
Yes.
Chad? Yeah.
Yeah, that is. That's actually hand-drawn tradition. I actually have it right next to me. Right.
Wow.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Man, I love the design of this one. It's a Lord of the Rings homage, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yep.
Yeah, I
That's
paid
awesome.
a bit of a homage to the Lord of the Rings. It's that
Yeah.
fellowship moment. It's
Dude, that's awesome.
an iconic moment.
Yeah, I like it. I like the colors too.
Thank you. I've been studying a lot more on color theory. It's just been, especially with me working on a book, I'm just doing a lot of coloring. I just need to brush up on my color theory again.
And what was your motivation for this one? Was it a commission, or were you just doing it on the show?
It was just doing it on the show. Rodney and Richard asked me to come on their Thursday night throwdown, and they say it was cryptid. I haven't done anything cryptid in a long time. The last time I did it was actually there was two things. One of them was a Bigfoot. It was another Bigfoot. It was for a cover for their indie title that they're working on, and another one was for me working on just doing my portfolio review with Marvel, DC, and a couple others when I was actually trying to find some stuff, and I was working on a Wendigo.
Nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So you come by it honestly. You're somewhat of a cryptid expert.
Not necessarily a cryptid expert. I mean, if you want to try to get anybody that's more of a cryptid expert, I'll have to bring my uncle, since he had a couple of encounters especially when I had him at a young age with Dog Man.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So that was a interesting story when he was telling me when I was a kid.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of these cryptid kind of stories, and I want to say, man, of course, to the artists, thanks for sharing pieces with us. I guess we got some tremendous pieces to look at here. So, Rick, let's jump to you next. Do you have a favorite cryptid?
Yeah. So
take a look. There's the. I'm not sure if Derek's coming or not. He might be joining us later, but there is his Flatwoods monster.
Yeah, this image is beautiful. All the cryptid stuff you've put on Facebook is amazing, Tim. My favorite cryptid, if it's a cryptid, I guess it's maybe not, is the Nagloshi, the Navajo, changeling, if you will.
Okay.
Right. Who's ever read Dresden Files? Skinwalker, yeah. If you've read Dresden Files, you know that Nagloshi is one of his arch nemesises in one of the books or two. I love Dresden Files. That's what really got me into the Skinwalker and Nagloshi myth and lore. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Nice. Great answer. Sean, are you down there?
Yep, I'm here.
Nice. Okay, perfect. We're going to be sharing one of Sean's pieces as we come around a little further. But what's your favorite cryptid, and how did it inspire your work?
I would have to go with being close to Point Pleasant. I'd have to probably go with Mothman. Nice, it's a close race with Bigfoot, but I'd have to go with Mothman by location, if nothing else, but also just kind of the uniqueness of whatever that thing is or was.
Right. Mothman is one of my favorites too, and this is man, I love your piece here. I love the bold blacks. I love the red eyes. Just a great job on this one.
Thank you.
Man, I really love the contrast you did with this.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Right? Yeah, it really does.
Thank you. I had one person. A lot of the inspiration was for Zetta's old Mothman piece. I was trying to get something that has kind of that same spookiness, but just kind of, just I don't know, the same kind of feel or vibe, I guess. He had
totally. You know what it reminds me of? Yeah, and Jay will chime in here too. It totally reminds me in a great way of the eerie or creepy classic 70s magazine covers,
That's what I go for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have one person like on Facebook or Reddit or one of the two make a comment of saying, how does he fly? He couldn't fly with those wings being like that. Why'd you draw them that way? And I said, because it looks cool.
Yeah.
I said, if you have a problem with these, I said you have a problem with every ship designed in Star Trek ever, because none of them are aerodynamic, but they look cool.
Right.
Gotcha. And how about JD? Are you down there?
I'm down here.
Nice. Hey, tell us, brother. First of all, thanks so much for coming. Love having you here. And do you have a favorite cryptid and why?
Well, what's funny is mine was the Mothman, but that was already taken. So I guess the next one would have to be the Jackalope.
Nice.
Right? Yeah. So it's the only other one I'm really familiar with, other than the Chupacabra. But yeah, the Jackalope, definitely. Just because of the look, I've always found it funny when I would go out to Vegas and Nevada, and you would see the stuffed rabbits with the horns, and they're hilarious. And I always wanted to buy one, but I think Daphne would probably kill me if I brought one home.
He's got to stick with the cutesy theme, right? You got to stay with it. Just a freaking guy.
So I'm going to grab one more. This is another piece by Sean, which one of my all-time favorites, of course, the Flatwoods monster.
Well, the Flatwoods, yeah.
And the thing that's great about him is just the design of it, right? He's got the playing card looking head, and he has such a menacing 1950s sort of look. Wouldn't you say, Sean?
Yeah, I try to go with something like equally or alien and organic, little elements in nature, and also I made
his face looks kind of like an owl. Almost.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I tried to intentionally put a little bit of barn owl in there because people try to dismiss the sighting as being a barn owl.
Totally, man. Totally get it. Yeah. Nice job on that one.
Thank you.
So let's come back to Jay Rosario. Most of us have some kind of work that influenced us, which came from monsters. Like I'm a Frankenstein guy. Some of us in this room are zombie people. What types of monsters have influenced your work, Jay?
Well, the very first ones were the ones that showed up in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, right?
Sure,
so those Universals. I love them, and inspired one of my books, The Dead Princess Vicky Styx, right? we take that Frankenstein theme to the female, but not the Bride of Frankenstein. But a real true horror movie for me will always be Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's the movie where kids die for eating candy, and if you put it on in front of me, I will punch you. We're gonna throw down.
Isn't it like the 7 Deadly Sins? But
I love that movie.
Oh no way! I hate that movie, dude.
I love it.
And Brad, how about you? Do you have what kind of monsters influenced your work?
Oh, I really like werewolves. That was, Werewolf of London. That movie just really, as a kid, that really, wow, that was a good thing. And the Howling series, I've always liked those. And then people, saying about Dogman and stuff. And, that one's a little hard for me to believe, but you never know.
Well, and we mentioned earlier, there's Denver Frogman too. There was an actual Frogman.
Yeah, I tell you, baby.
It's funny. We just talked about this on our YouTube channel, and there's all kinds of strange, obscure cryptids. The more you dig into it, it's like peeling an onion. More and more layers. Chad, how about you? What kind of monsters influenced your work?
Well, it's probably got to show a little bit my age, but a lot of the stuff I've done, I grew up with my dad and everybody else. We all grew up watching Supernatural, that TV show. So a lot of the stuff actually kind of influenced that, and then watching a little bit more of that kind of stuff like Van Helsing. When I remember watching that in the movies, I thought it was great, and then seeing it years later, it's like, what am I watching? And it's just like that. Just the werewolf itself is just one of those iconic monsters. I just love drawing every time.
Sure. And you, by the way, the werewolf stories are as popular today, maybe more popular today than they were then.
Which is funny you're saying that, because I'm working with my buddy Adam, and we're working on a story called.
Right. Is that Adam Fields?
Adam Fields, yes.
Yeah, I kind of know him a little. Sure, good guy.
Yeah. So he hired me to do cover B for his story, and I'm also working with him on the colors and some additional stuff with him for the Prowl series that got relaunched.
Prowl, right? I'm familiar with it. Yeah. Well, congratulations on the success of that project.
Thank you. I'm just now only got 2 pages left to actually color to send back to them, and then we'll just have to proofread everything before we send it off to the printers.
Nice. All right, perfect. Mm-hmm. Well, and Rick, how about you? Are you influenced by classic monsters?
I've talked to my dad so much as he watches every single thing on the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and all of them. And I asked him, I said, Dad, do you really believe in Bigfoot? And he goes, well, I can't say if I really believe, but I can tell you this. Thousands of people have seen Bigfoot, and who am I to call them liars? And that's what he said. He said, you know what? You don't have to believe, but you can't call everybody a liar because you just don't want to. So I say, sure, whatever. Whoever wants to believe or doesn't want to believe. And that's kind of where I've landed on monsters. Do they exist in some parts, in other parts? I mean, Joe Rogan would say yes, reptilian people and so forth. But the ones that really impact me in my life, I'd say this is kind of a dark child horror. When I was 6 years old, and Enemy Mine came out.
Oh
yeah.
Do you remember that? And the alien reptilian, you think it's a warrior man, but it ends up being a mom, and the whole thing is like turns your emotions crazy between like horror and then love and then war, but then peace. It's just the whole thing is crazy, and that's where I started getting.
There's a little music in it too, right? He's got his little song that he sings. Yeah, sure. Great pick, man. Great pick. Now, I can't wait to hear this one. Laurie, how about you? What kind of classic monsters influenced you?
Have we not figured that out yet?
Well, I want to hear you. I want to hear it coming from you.
Zombies, people. Zombies. Florida, the whole state of Florida and their bath salts. That's what inspired my work.
Just take me back right there.
Right? It's like, don't sniff the bath salts, and you end up in my story. Zombies, and undeath, all that good stuff. Hey, girl.
That is good stuff. And how about Sean? Did I get you for this one? What monsters influenced your work?
I'm going to have the weirdest answer for this. I think I take the trophy here. So the earliest monsters that actually scared me when I was a little kid. I don't know if any of the rest of you ever watched the Muppet Show, but do you remember the giant monsters in suits? They had Sweetums, and then that big blue
I
abomination.
do remember
Yeah.
the blue dude. Yeah.
That blue thing scared the hell out of me.
Lunch, Froggy,
Yeah.
no.
You
That
know,
one?
your answer is weird. That is definitely a weird answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are like the earliest, giant scary because they were big. They towered over the other Muppets. They were giants to me. So those are the earliest things that kind of like creeped me out, and it gave those Attack on Titan vibes of being unsettling and terrifying.
Oh god.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now it's
Cool.
nothing, but back then it's like I saw those things and they didn't sit right with me when I was a kid.
Absolutely. And JD, how about you? What kind of monsters have influenced your work?
I don't know how classic they are, but I'm into cosmic horror. So I've been a huge Lovecraft fan since I was
Here we go.
in my
Sure.
early teens. And I'm old, so that's been a while. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Lovecraft, Cthulhu, Nyarlathotep, so on and so forth.
Gotcha, sure. Elder
Yeah.
gods.
Elder gods, yes. And like I said, the whole cosmic horror thing, the whole thing where, the thing is so immense and so powerful, so beyond us that we have absolutely no hope of ever escaping it or defeating it, Although some do try, which is always fun to see.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on. I'm the same as Jay Rosario in that most of my influence came from early reruns of the Universal monsters, and in particular, I remember the Frankenstein meets the Wolfman and what they called the Rally films. I was really into those.
Oh.
So let's change up the line of questioning here. Ready? What I'm going to ask you guys as a group is that if you believe things are real or a hoax. Since we have an aquatic creature up there, we've got the Loch Ness monster. Starting with let's start right at the top with Jay Rosario. The Loch Ness monster and aquatic cryptids, real or a hoax?
Hoax.
Hoax. Okay, Brad, what do you say? Real for aquatic monsters only, real or a hoax?
Real dinosaur.
Okay, cool. Chad, how about you? Real or a hoax?
Real.
Okay, Rick, real
Yeah.
or a hoax?
There are some.
Laurie, real or a hoax for
I think aquatic monsters are real. I don't think the Loch Ness monster was real, but I think that they are out there.
Good answer. Okay, for that one, I think let's keep things even. I'll take hoax on that one.
There you
go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how these. We talked about how monsters and things have affected our works, right? Right now, let's talk about you got your project going right now, Limbo, right?
Yep. I'm definitely influenced by a monster because we're going with demons, we're going with devils, we're going with the whole underworld theme, and that's the latest book we got going out. And the idea behind it is that the devil has vacated his throne and he has left a former priest sitting upon it. The guy really doesn't know what he's doing, so people are gunning for his seat. And where do you go when you screw things up but a bar? So that's where they're gonna end up finding them, and we go from there.
Gotcha. You guys always have nice character design over there.
Thanks.
Who does the layouts of the books and the cover dress?
So right now, this one is illustrated by Francisco Maldonado. He's from Spain. He has a bit of a manga influence to his artwork.
Sure. Right.
And he's doing the main stuff inside. The image on the left is our North American cover. That's from Andres Cruz. He is based out of Colombia. And that's our former priest on the bottom with his demon-esque bodyguard. And I like how in the wings, he kind of threw some of the other supporting cast members into this image as well.
Nice. That came out great, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump over to Brad. We'll take a quick look at Terminus. So you guys are still going strong, right? You already hit your goal.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So the main thing about Terminus, it has all these races, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 7 different races.
Yeah. So how long does it take to do the character designs for something that has 7 races in it?
Well, actually, it took a while, and tried not to swipe any other kind of designs. It's kind of on the fly. He tells me, he gives me a vague concept, and then I come up on and we mull over it, go back and forth until we get it. and usually it doesn't take that much to get them down. But yeah, that's I don't know what influences that I use. Just some of my stuff may look kind of like Star Wars or Star Trek. That's what he likes the feel of. So I try to just go from there.
Yeah, I dig the designs of it. I've been following the characters and stuff a little bit. It came out good, man. You can be proud of that one.
All right.
The ship reminds me of Flight of the Navigator a little bit with the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted
to give it aquatic feel instead of in kind of a needle, because the way the ship runs, that very point of the ship, penetrates and goes in what Jeff called a negative energy transfer or something of that nature.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to have, most of the sci-fi ships, they always got really clean lines where they go and everything like that. I kind of wanted to have this one where it was really a mess.
I like it too. It has sort of the feel. It's a little bit like a grungy universe, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything's exploding, so.
Even better.
Yeah.
So, man, I really dig sci-fi a lot. I think that's a terrific project. I'm also a huge fan of Westerns, and in particular, apocalyptic Westerns with undead elements. So next, Laura, can you tell us a little bit about, we talked about how you love zombies. Tell us a little bit about Path of the Pale Rider.
Sure. Path of the Pale Rider is, like you said, it's a Western apocalypse story where death has been broken. Your body can die, but your soul or consciousness doesn't leave your body upon death. So you're stuck in your own decay phase, and it's people, plants, animals, fish, insects. Nobody gets to leave. So we get wonderful characters like Big James the Undead Bear, who is just the biggest nasty. He would just eat your face. So we're in this apocalypse following his cowboy 10 years into this apocalypse, and he's like the last guy still looking for the answer to what broke death. So it's a wild ride, you guys.
It sounds pretty cool, man. I'm hearing good things about it.
Thank you.
Liking it so far.
Yes, thank you.
I'll just take a quick look. And JD, I got to get your link too if you got one. My next one's right around the corner here. I'm starting to do podcasts and things to talk about it. If you like things based on cryptid-based visual adventures, you would probably like Call of the Cryptid. That's going to be on April 4th. We're going to be doing some cover reveals in the next couple of days. I might even do one here tonight, but since we have so many cool artists, I didn't want to take away from the cool artists. I do want to ask, let's go to JD Calderon for this question, because I think I skipped you. So you got a pretty broad race of characters too. How long does it take to design your races of characters?
Well,
how many are there?
Wow. I mean, because I use the Fae, right, which are fairies.
Right.
So those are kind of already built in. I have some themes in my own origins for some of them, and that's just a matter of just writing the stories, and it just comes to life, and it just takes as long as it takes for me to write a story. The other two races that are probably unique to it are Calcians or Grogs. Years. Yeah, I've been working on it for a long time, and that's what this story is about. It's about two particular races going to war against one another. Calcians, they went ahead and stole a particular item from the Grogs, and they've chased the Grog army has chased the Calcians, this small force, onto Oswald's home, and he's there, and he's like, "What's going on, guys?" And they're all like, "Well, we're kind of stuck here because we stole this thing, and we have a war on our hands." So they're there, and they're just trying to not get themselves murdered while on the mall. And Oswald's trying to not have a bunch of dead bodies on his home.
Cool.
So basically that's it. But as far as it's weird because it all comes within the context of the story. So it's really just how long does it take me to write a story? So
I want to ask that question since we're all on the kind of the subject. How long does it take us to make whatever it is we are making? And I'll ask each person, that way the artist can answer about the pieces. And I'll show one more. That's by Derek Stevens. So in my case, I mostly make books. And what I do, I start at the beginning, I write one, then it goes to a production team who I have a tremendous amount of trust in. It comes out the other side about 3 or 4 months later. And then it goes through Kickstarter, in which we make the product, and then I submit it to publishers after. The whole thing sometimes takes up to 2 years. JD Calderon, how about you? How long does it take to make what you're making?
I've taken as short as 3 days to write a script, and I've taken as long as 4 years to finish a story. So, it depends. But when I hand it over to one of my artists, let's say if I'm handing it to Jay, depending on the length of it, anywhere from 9 months to about a year and a half. But we're talking about lengthy stories. We're talking about stories that don't run anywhere from 120 to 180 pages.
Right, varying lengths.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, Jay, how about you?
A couple months. I'm going through about 4 or 5 drafts, and I'm including the outline or the expanded outline as part of the draft. And then after I think I got it to a point where I want it, I send it off to my editor, and she chops it all up. So I got to give it another 2 or 3 passes to make sure things coincide with an entertaining story. So one script we're looking at a couple months. The entire arc we're looking at even longer. I'm working on one 4-issue mini that I started back in November. That's just with everything that's all the plates that I'm spinning, like we spoke about.
We talk about that. We are all masters of the spinning plates,
and that's why it's also taking so long. I can't dedicate all the time to it that it deserves on a regular basis.
Well, and that's a good answer, right? Because that is the commodity that we all have the least of, is time.
Yeah.
So, Brad, let me ask you about this. I just picked this piece for an example. We have other ones, too. It's going to go to 12 days total, but I didn't want to reveal them all on the first night. But I do want to ask you, how long did it take you to make this one? And is that about a typical time?
Oh, I just did it on a Friday night. It's Photoshop. There's a lot of little cheats and hacks. I make my own brushes and stuff, like the trees in there and the vines and stuff. You can put those on repeat. And there's a lot of superimposing on that. But, I try to get the lighting down first and then go back with the details and stuff. And, with Photoshop painting, you don't have no mess to clean up or anything. So you can really get going. If I get into the piece, sometimes I put it away and come back a week later. But I kind of finished that one that night. So.
Yeah, I really love it. Brad. Great job on that one.
Fun.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Let's jump back to the Lord of the Rings piece. So this was drawn actually during a show. I was actually on part of this show. Thanks for having me on, guys. So Chad, how long did it take you? And tell you what, soup to nuts, include the colors and everything.
Okay, so I know our show was like an hour and a half to actually do, and I was already most of the done inking at that point. So I think roughly, if I have to take a look at the video recording, I think it took me 4 hours and 10 minutes just to do the whole thing.
Wow.
And that's just with like Koepp markers, acrylics, and some other little techniques here and there I've done.
Sure. And Rick, how about you? So when you put a book out, now you've done it, right? So now you can answer this question. How long did it take you?
The time frame varies, depends on how much inspiration you have. But instead of saying how short it can take me, let me tell you how I overcome my blocks. That's really what I think people might want to know.
Tell us that.
When I can't get something out of my head, when I can't get it right, when I'm sitting down to write and it's not coming right, what I do is I get somebody next to me, my son, my wife. I might have to pay them to sit there. I might have to buy them ice cream or something. But I start talking to them about the story. I start really delving through with them, going back and forth. And in the storytelling mode that I get into, I then can write it. And of course, we go back and forth. They give their input. I get a lot of back and forth. But without that collaboration, my writing wouldn't be near as well. Some people can write and then send it off. Some people will have an editor that helps them. For me, it's just people that are like beating the idea back and forth, that are giving me more content than I would have thought of on my own. That's how I overcome my writer's block.
So I'm sorry, Rick, you don't have private conversations between the two characters and act them out on your own, like the
dress up, cosplay, right?
So let's jump into Laurie.
I won't tell you about last night. My wife and I won't go into it. It's private.
Wow!
Now, Laurie, you got a lot of elements in what you're making. You got video elements, you got written elements. I guess what I would ask you is, let's to keep it level, let's focus on the book, and then I'll ask you about the video next. For just the book, how long does it take you from script to coming out the other side of the printer?
Well, when I originally wrote this script, I wrote it as a full-length movie, and I worked on it for like 2 years before I even got an artist on board. But I've grown a lot since then. So let me just, I'm working on a script with William Russell. He's writing a series called Psycho Sal, and I'm writing 4, 5, and 6. We had like a meeting together where we picked each other's brains and brainstormed ideas, and then I think I wrote it in like a week. And then after that, it goes to his team. They edit it, they produce the art, and go from there. With my team, Marco's pretty quick. He can turn around a 24-page book in about a month, maybe a month and a half. And then now that we have a colorist, it should go a little bit quicker. So that's hopefully what we're looking at.
That's
congrats on getting the book writing rights with William. That's pretty awesome. They would trust you and honor you with that. That's great.
Yeah, it was a cool conversation to have because he has an interesting concept for his series where the first 3 are told by like the homicide detectives, the next 3 are told from a female victim point of view, and then the last 3 are told from the serial killer's point of view. And I'll tell you what, I was gunning for those last 3 to be the serial killer point of view because that's what I love, writing the warped twists and all that. But he really wanted those middle books from the female perspective to be authentic. So I was like, well, I'm going to be involved any way I can in this project. So it was really cool. It's going to be wild, just like the rest of his story. It's fun. Hopefully I'll make you jump a few times.
Do all 3 stories take place at the same time, just from different points of view being told, or are they, because there are additional stories going on? Okay.
It's a continuation, but it just completely changed perspective of what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
That is cool. Let's jump back to Sean. Sean, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Because I know, hey, first off, thanks for checking in. I know you're at the con, right?
No, I will be tomorrow. That's why I didn't want to interrupt anybody, but I probably got about all the spare time I've got tonight is coming to an end here. I'm getting ready for
hey man, listen, I am so glad that you came. And again, I want to say, especially to the artists that we have here tonight, thanks for sharing these awesome creations with the group. And I'm a huge Cryptid fan, and we've started to chat a little bit off the air and stuff, and talking about various Cryptid related things. It's been a lot of fun. So I will ask you this question if you have time, which is
yeah. I also wanted to share. I don't know if you have seen it or not, but I did a Bigfoot portrait that I was trying to go with a more realistic tone to it. And if you haven't seen that one, I can send you that one in Messenger real quick.
Oh yes, send them over. And what I did is realistically, there's 12 illustrations between 4. There's Rodney Fike's going to be with us too one of the nights.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, so there's definitely a couple. You could get a couple each on the. We'll compile a little list here of the 12 days of cryptids. That's a pretty snazzy title, right, guys?
It is. It's very catchy.
As Rick knows, I'm always working on the slogans.
You do a good job. You're really creative. Yeah.
On the first day of cryptids.
Yeah, right. And
that's a T-shirt.
Yeah, and some of these actually will be T-shirts, by the way.
Bigfoot behind a big rock.
Question for you, Timothy. On your 12th day of cryptids, will you have one that you actually, create yourself? Maybe that you are in your head.
The list on this one is intended to. It'll build up to the cover reveals, which have the reveal from the book, which is not a shocker. It's Bigfoot, But anyway. At this point, it's kind of cool to have the other artists involved, though. So I might, I didn't know it was going to be already. There's 5 people, and there's Derek yet. So I don't know. It's kind of fun doing this. So if they keep wanting to join in, maybe we'll just feature, today's hottest artist, something like that. If the whole campaign takes off, maybe this becomes a set of trading cards or even something like that.
Cool.
Well, I hope that you create one yourself, though.
But here's the thing. Look at some of the stuff we got. Like, we got so many great ones now that we could very realistically do a thing. And a couple of us have live campaigns as well. There's probably some way to, tie this all together.
Yeah.
We need one of these genius marketing people like Laurie.
Oh, hello.
Hey, well, we know that the secret seems to revolve around video, right? And we're all trying to find various ways to engage the audience with our videos. Let's ask a couple questions about that. JD Caldron, what are you going to try new with video this year?
What's funny, it's what's old is new for me. So I'm going back to doing reviews. I started my channel by doing reviews of books. So, and they're not even really reviews; they're more suggestions. They're books that I enjoy reading and I like sharing them with people, and I just talk about them for a few minutes. I'm probably going to go back to that. I mean, I have a couple of, and I really like the more obscure books, or more indie books, I should say. Like I have a lot of Topi, Hellboy, that sort of thing, and it just giving that sort of thing more of a shine, because we always see Batman and Superman. So
Right, totally agreed. I do that other show with Pops and his buddy that's for comic collectors, and one of the kind of rules is that it can't be DC and Marvel. Not because we hate DC and Marvel, we love DC and Marvel, but it's just you see enough of that, right? And there's what I do, you probably notice, I filter in the books, our books, the creator level books, because hey, if one person sees it, one's more than zero. So Jay Rosario, how about you? I know you and I talked about the videos. What are you going to do different in 2023 in regards to video?
I'm going to hire Laurie. Did you see that video she put out and the music? That was banging. I want to watch the movie already. I forget about the book. Let's fast forward all of that stuff. No, yeah, I mean, you got to step up your game, right? Everybody levels up, and you just got to find the time to find the people who know how to do it better than you. So that's the plan, right? Take one more.
Well, hold on. I'm going to get. We talked about a little bit of this on the other show, so I'm going to get a little more specific with you. You ready? Okay. Picture it as being a bucket, right? And the bucket has in it its production, and its marketing is in there. How much percentage is production, and how much percentage is marketing?
That I have to do on my own.
First, let me ask you, what would you be the perfect mix for you?
Well, funny enough, the production part is the easy part, and we know how hard it is, right? And anybody can make if you have the time. The marketing, the selling it, that's the hard part. So maybe 25, 75.
75 production, 25 marketing.
No, 75 marketing, 25 production.
Oh, strong.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strong.
I mean, look at the movies that are out there, right? You always got the budget, but then they always doubled the budget to promote the movie.
Yeah.
So we got to look at it like that. And if we're gonna compete with all media, we're not just out here with our community, right? We're competing against video games and TV and streaming networks and movie theaters that are coming back and Friday night drinking draws and all this other stuff, right? We got to really sink it in if we're going to stay.
We've got our work cut out for us.
Yeah.
We've got our work cut out for us. Hey, Brad, how about you? In the challenging world of being an artist, how do you do your marketing?
Well, I just let Jeff do it.
I mean,
I just bar. I kind of I do on the video thing. I've been time lapse and recording myself drawing. That way people don't think I just pushed a button and out popped this art. Like AI. But anyways, I figured that would help with the process. But marketing wise, Jeff's really taking care of that on term of this. So, and then it's just word of mouth from there, I guess, for me.
Yeah, I know he's a big video guy too. I'm constantly impressed. He gets like the high level guests on his podcast. He does great at that.
Oh yeah, I know one guy I sent to him, a family friend, Dennis Hayden. He was one of the terrorists on Die Hard movie.
Cool. Oh sure, yeah.
Yeah, he I think he's going to do an interview with him. I'm amazed how many people he gets on there.
Well, I got all the cool comic creators, so I'm one up on him. So, hey, next I got Chad. Chad, tell us a little bit about being an artist, right? Like there's a lot of challenges. What do you see as being your best marketing for this year?
Right now, well, I have to thank my two little brothers. They've been helping me out on the best ways to actually try to market myself a lot, especially since I'm actually doing this more full time instead of my usual graphic designing in a print shop I used to be. And they told me to actually start doing like videos, and I've been getting a lot more engagement on TikTok of all things. And because since I've actually been doing a lot of my stuff all traditional, a lot of people are more blown away that I've actually going to do something like that. So TikTok has been my big thing when it comes to that. And I tried posting it through Instagram and Facebook and about ready to try to do YouTube shorts with the same thing, but I'm not getting that as much of an engagement compared to TikTok.
What kind of TikTok engagement? What's your top video view on TikTok?
I got 4 of my top ones. So I have 2 of the Ninja Turtles. So just the regular Ninja Turtles, the Shredder. The Crow has been my big one.
How many views?
Each one around 30,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like each one, and then a Jason David Frank tribute one that's also in the 30,000.
Amazing.
And that's like they all hit that number within like 24 hours.
Wow.
And I'm getting like multiple people asking me questions on, hey, do you have prints of this? Which show are you gonna be so I can meet you? All that kind of stuff. And it's that kind of thing. And it's that kind of engagement that even though they're seeing all the stuff of me drawing their favorite characters from Marvel, DC, anime, and a couple other things, it's also for me being more engaging to actually show people my other creative side of actually trying to create independent stories, working with Adam right there, for example.
Little production action behind the scenes.
Yeah, and that's the Procreate. Me actually using Procreate for the first time.
Really?
And Adam just sent me like a whole bunch of brushes. I just went crazy on that.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm actually getting more and more used to Procreate. I'm used to doing Photoshop on all my stuff. And
it's cool that Procreate will do a time lapse for you too.
Right?
Yeah, love it.
But it can't compress as much as it should because you can only you have to get people's like attention within like 3 seconds. Otherwise, they're just gonna scroll right through. So you have to do it within like 10 seconds of trying to get their attention.
Right.
That's usually the challenge of that kind of stuff. But I mean, the Prowl cover piece I did for this campaign right here, I think it's around 2,000 in views in that one.
That's really good, man. That's way better than any Facebook post is doing.
Well, Adam did not like it when he found out that one of the campaigns people that actually booked a commission, I think it's a commission from him or from me, I can't remember for sure, but he didn't realize that one of them actually goes all the way to Australia.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, my bad. Because I even looked, it's like you can actually see from countries and your status, like where is actually engaged to. Most of it's usually from the United States, some of them in Europe, Japan even. And you'd be surprised how fast you can actually really get those videos out.
Yeah, actually, since you mentioned it, Chad, I have you on one of your art pieces on my TikTok, and it's like my second highest one. It's like 1,200 and some, which is crazy high for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I was about to say, I saw you.
I was just checking. I think I have you tagged there.
I was about to say, I think.
Wait, hold on. Maybe yours is scheduled, but it didn't go up yet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because you're next. You're the next one to go up.
Okay.
But Brad, you have 1,200 views. I said that wrong. So my point being that slowly TikTok is becoming a tool that we're apparently going to be using.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
one more, right?
Yeah, one more plate. Jay would say
it's one more plate, but in my perspective, it's like I record everything, and then once everything's recorded, it's just a couple little key hits here and there just to do video editing, and then it's already uploaded like the next day.
I'll follow you. I'm trying to do it. Like I say, it's not something I'm necessarily taking naturally to, but of course we would have said that about videos 6 months ago. So anyway, my next question is going to go to Rick. Okay, so I'm handing you a bucket, right? What is your percentage? Is it half and half, production and marketing? What's your percentage?
I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. I've always done more on the grassroots and a lot less on the cash out. When I do cash out, $1,000, $2,000 a month on marketing for anything I'm doing, it's usually a bath. When I do grassroots, when I'm doing the social media, when I'm doing the glad handing and doing local events and fairs, it's always a win-win for sure. To me, you don't have to spend as much money on marketing if you do smart and consistent and grassroots marketing. That's my experience. I'm not opposed to everybody spending $3,000 and $4,000 a month. I'm not opposed to it, but it doesn't get me anywhere. My business is the same way. So for me, my recommendation to anyone out there is do some cool stuff like we just saw Chad do. Get the videos that are interactive, do the Facebook stories, and hit up your friends and families like the multiple marketing companies do. Get your friends and families to spread the word for you as well. That's really the way it works for me. If you give some people things that are fun and exciting, they'll often share it for you. That's my experience.
That's a good one. Okay, Laurie, we're going to jump over to you. I'm going to ask you the same question. I'm handing you a bucket. Is it 50-50 production and marketing? Where do you draw the lines?
I don't know. I want to play around with this and figure it out. I think right now, thank you. I love seeing that on the live stream. Amen. It's like if I show my product, so it's production, but we do such cool stuff with it, is it also considered marketing? You know what I mean? Does it double dip? Because, we do video production, we do short films, and that kind of sets us apart. But is that marketing? I don't know.
Probably.
What's that?
I would say it's marketing.
So, it's either 100% marketing, 100% production, or 50-50. But I always want to make sure I get that call to action in there because I show all the good stuff, but I always want to make sure people know where to find me and ask them to show up and look at the rewards or just go to the page, back us. We need your support. So there always needs to be that call to action. I do want to spend some more time doing short form. Films, not films, but like TikToks and reels and short, kind of stuff. And not even necessarily about my comic, just to have, build some audience engagement. So I think I'm going to do some destruction. I think that would be fun. I don't know if you guys have seen one of my stretch goals, but at $6,000, I'll dress up like Pikachu and let people pick a machete, a sword, or a sledgehammer, and I'm going to destroy some things. So I was thinking I could probably do some of that stuff in some short form reels or TikToks as well. Like just smash a watermelon and see how many people show up to see me dressed up as Pikachu and do it.
Smash up a watermelon? You going Gallagher on us?
That would be great, wouldn't it? We need to bring that back. That was so much fun.
Rest in peace, Gallagher.
I know.
So, Sean, how about you? I want to ask you. So, you're artist on the road. How do you do your marketing?
Usually social media. That's pretty much it. Because the cons that I go to.
Are you using TikTok at all?
I was, and I kind of let it go because it wasn't doing a turnout. And after hearing what you just said about this, like 30K views, I'm like, I should give that another go. Because I've often had the same thing. If it's free for me to set up, then I might as well give it a go and try it out. And I tried TikTok, but it's probably just me being a little too relaxed on, and not posting and kind of letting it go. But that kind of puts a little, lights a fire a little bit. So maybe I should try it again and see what I can pull off. Because honestly, I started to think like if Facebook does the reels and stuff like that, then maybe I wouldn't need TikTok, but it's another platform entirely. And also Facebook, for some reason, when I try to post videos to it, it has given me all sorts of headaches trying to get the videos uploaded. I'll go through the process of, picking the song and the text and all that stuff. And then it doesn't let the video go through. And I get that so often that it's just a pain.
You bring up a great point, and I guess one of the main takeaways here is that it's also two totally different audiences, right?
Yeah.
So it's the way to get that other person. Let's just go around the room real quick. JD Calderon, TikTok, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Jay Rosario, TikTok, yay or nay?
Nay.
Brad Chip, TikTok, yes or no? You have one. He might be muted, but he has one. Chad, how about you?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Rick, are you using TikTok?
I'm not now, but my kids are. So yes, I will start doing it immediately because maybe they can spread the word for me.
Gotcha. Laurie, I know you are.
Yeah.
I
follow you. You follow me.
Yeah, I do. And I watch to see what other people are doing. Hey, you got a copy from the best, right?
Yep.
And Sean, you use it or don't use it anymore?
I do use it. I have a profile still. I just kind of got away from it, but I might start using it again because if it's free advertising and I can get it to work and figure out the trick, then it's good.
Well, there's actually benefits to it because once you hit over 1,000 followers, you're able to actually do live videos, and they can actually do gifts and stuff where you can actually turn that into cash. And I think once you hit a certain number as well on the followers, like over 10,000, you can actually get paid per view on your videos at that point.
Oh, that's I like the sound of that.
I mean, it's not like a lot of money, but once you actually see the numbers actually really climbing, I got a buddy who actually started doing it himself, and he's getting 5,000 a month now. That since he hit that 100K followers.
Dang
You
on.
have that many followers, Chad?
Me, I am close to 6,000.
That's pretty good.
What's your TikTok handle?
It's Showtell_arts.
Yeah, Showtell Arts, right? Tell you what, hold on.
If you need me to spell it, I can.
It was on the screen with the werewolf one. I needed to just.
Here we go. Here you go.
Yeah, you can just pull it up right there.
SHOTELL.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back into it.
See, and I love watching the time lapses. Those usually get a ton of. Hello, my volume is on. Following. So you just got a new follower, dude.
And I'm following back. So I try to follow as many creators as I can.
Thank
you.
you.
It's like I see a lot of people, but then once I see some other creators and they have really good engagement, I follow them back, and I always try to stay in contact.
Awesome.
I try to be as very positive as I could.
Yeah,
I gotta say thanks to the people that are in the chat too. I'm sorry I was remiss and I didn't say hello to the people that are in the chat. How you doing, Nita?
Oh, hello.
It's funny, we all get to talk, and this is a really good topic, right? We love to talk about cryptids. So I think we're going to go to right about an hour here. So we're going to begin the stages of sort of wrapping it up, okay? What we're going to do is we'll go around the room here, and we'll talk to JD Calderon first. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and why we should follow your project.
My name is JD Calderon. I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles, and I've been a writer-creator since 1992. That's the first year I self-published my first book, Revelations, and I've been self-publishing ever since. Worked for a short time as a professional, and found Kickstarter a few years ago, and I've just been continuing this this journey that is independent comic books, and it's just something that I enjoy immensely. And I always try to put my best. I mean, as everyone does, it's just one of those things where it's always you just try to create the best work you can and work with the best artists you can. So
you got some beautiful work, JD. You got some beautiful work there.
Thank you.
Hey, Jay Rosario, same thing for you. Who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing? Tell us where we can follow Limbo.
So I am Jay Rosario from Unstoppable Comics. Been publishing comic books for close to 16 years on my own dime. No VC money, no rich uncle, no major sponsors behind us. Just lacing up our boots, baby, and getting out there. We try to do our best to give you the biggest bang for your buck. So I try to make the books as affordable as I can while keeping the lights on, but I try to throw bonuses up in there. So anyone who is a returning backer for Limbo, open almost all eternity, will get a special holochrome trading card added to their reward at no extra charge. So people who are new, they can still pick up that holochrome trading card for an extra $5 bonus. But guess what? If you get down with this, then when you jump onto our next one, you become one of our, loyal backers, and you'll be rewarded with the next holochrome trading card that we've got.
Unstoppable Comics. Very strong, brother.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Brad, let's jump over to you. What are you promoting, and where can people find you? Take a look at this too. Well, I can answer this for you because we got a little bit of a audio issue, I think.
Oh, we can't hear you, Brad.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
So I'll do the talking. Hey, Brad's got a live project. It's called Terminus, The End of All. It's written by our pal, Jeffrey Haas. He does the Traversing the Stars podcast. It's got like 7 different races. It's a sci-fi action story that allegedly has a very high body count. And
higher than mine.
That's what they say. And recommended by people that like Star Wars and Star Trek is who you would aim that at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Chad, we'll go to you next. Where can we find you? And where's the there's Chotel Arts. We'll take a look at that.
So
what's the best way to follow you?
Yeah, that's the best way you can follow me right there. But it's the same tag when it comes to me doing streaming through Twitch. I do the same thing with Instagram and Facebook as well. I try posting on all through the social medias as well. But I'm also just an indie artist that tries to help out with other indie creators and bringing their projects out.
Awesome. And Rick, how about you? What's cooking, man?
Yeah. So
what's next on the horizon for you?
Well, whatever comes to mind is next on the horizon. But number 3 in my chapters of Orphan Bloodline for sure. Orphan Bloodline is going to be about cyberpunk, future versus past. Meaning that we take a lot of the historical figures and we try to add secret societies and betrayal and all these dark aspects to their life because of the blood disorders that come from the god Thoth back in Egypt and through Pharaoh and down the line. So we all have these blood disorders. And what I was thinking when I did this was people who might be in the hospital, might be having a hard time with some kind of a blood disorder. Well, now maybe that's going to be a benefit to them in these books. Maybe they can see themselves becoming a superhero as their disorder becomes a benefit. I mean, just trying to give some people hope sometimes maybe. And when you read the story and you see someone has a hard time, but then they turn it around for the better, lemons into lemonade. That's really what I'm trying to do with this book is to give people that kind of a transition. Of course, they get to be superheroes and they get to have all these biotech thrown on their body by mad scientists. And I'm just loving telling that story of kind of twisting what is not so great into what is really kind of cool in our lives. And also, I wanted to say I'm very approachable. I mentor people all the time. I get calls every week to help them start businesses and so forth. So if you actually wanted to learn how to do a Kickstarter, I'm super new as well. We all learn together. But if you want to message me on Facebook at Rick Dury or at Orphan Bloodline on Facebook, I'll just get right back to you. We'll do a Zoom and I'll help you get going. On Monday coming up, I'm meeting with a guy who was really not ready to do his Kickstarter, but he was ready. He just didn't know it. And I'm going to help him launch his Kickstarter here in April. So anybody out there that needs some help, just contact me. I'm always open to be there for you.
There you have it. All right, and Rick, you got to go?
I have to go. My wife's been telling me for a while, but I didn't want to be rude.
It's okay, man. I know exactly what that's like.
I wanted to be here for the team.
Yeah.
Hey, and really, thanks for coming over and sharing your thoughts during the art party.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I love this group.
See you again, Rick.
Kisses all around. All right, see ya.
Nice meeting you.
All right, let's jump over to Laurie. Just some closing words about Path of the Pale Rider.
Hello, everybody. We're $19 away from a stretch goal.
Let's get some backers. Come on.
We need like one backer, and we're there. What do I need to say about this? It's a really crazy story. Westerns, if you like Book of Eli, Mad Max, spaghetti westerns, Clint Eastwood movies, with all sorts of layers and riddles and fan participation. We got all of that. We have all sorts of shenanigans. We got blooper reels of some of the things. You can see me get run over by a car as many times as you want to. And we got big undead bears, which just make everybody else's life hell. But it's a fun story. We have fun together, and there's come along, you belong, feel the fizz. That's all I got.
Gotcha. And Sean, how about you? Where can we find you? Tell us about the con. Even plug that if you want.
My name is Sean Langley. I illustrator based out of Southern Ohio that does comics and horror and all sorts of crazy stuff. The Comic-Con is I don't go too far. I like staying local. This one's one of the first Comic-Cons I ever did, and I've been going ever since not too long after they started. It's in Athens, Ohio, called Rathacon. You get the pun?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Rasticon. That's clever, actually.
But it's a nice little convention, and it's my first one of the year. So far, I've got like 2 scheduled for the year, but usually I hear about another one local, and then I just kind of picked it up and go with it. But I never go drive more than an hour somewhere that I can drive pretty close for one. But that one's in Athens, Ohio tomorrow. And the other one I'm scheduled for so far is Final Boss Con, which is in Rio Grande, Ohio. And that's later this summer.
Have you tried this?
Tearing Ohio up, man.
Yep.
All right. Perfect,
What was that?
Perfect. I said you're tearing Ohio up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Ohio's the only place that survives the apocalypse with the sentient yogurt. So.
Just a quick mention. I don't know if I told you guys. I got this new book coming out. It's a visual sci-fi adventure called Call of the Cryptid. You can look for that one on April 4th. I promise it'll be the weirdest book that you will see this year.
Next week, Tim.
Yeah, it's right around the corner now. And I'll even have to start doubling up on some days. I think we're on the 8th cryptid or the 7th. So I want it to kind of land on Tuesday. And I might even do a live thing on Tuesday, so I'll shout out to everybody as well. But in closing, I just want to say thank you so much, gang, for coming on and sharing your thoughts about cryptids, one of our favorite subjects. And man, I just wish you the best of luck with all your projects.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Yeah, and we'll look forward to seeing you again pretty soon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.